hello, A Taste of AZ listeners. I am your host today, Luke Irvin, and we are in kind of my neck of the woods, actually. This is like 10, 15 minutes away from where I live.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I'm excited to be here. To tell you where we are, listeners and watchers, we have our guest today. Why don't you introduce yourself and where we are?
Absolutely. My name is Robert Nethercutt, and we are at ZTejas at Mercado del Lago, Scottsdale.
And so this is right on like the lake in McCormick Ranch. It's beautiful here.
Absolutely. You got a beautiful patio overlooking the hike and bike trail, and I think they call that lake Marguerite. And
Really?
That's perfect since we sell margaritas.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you guys have been open at this location for, you said, about a year now, correct?
Absolutely. We're coming up next week will be our 1-year anniversary at this location.
And is this your newest location, or do you have other ones that have been open more recently?
So this actually is not our newest location. We just opened a brand new store in Avery Ranch in Austin, Texas.
Okay. And as far as other states they share in, is Texas the only one, or are you elsewhere?
Currently just Texas and Arizona.
Awesome. Well, so let's circle back. When was ZTejas first began as a restaurant?
So it was about 33 years ago when
Wow.
ZTejas got its start. And the original location was an old house. It's about a 100-plus-year-old house on West 6th Street in Austin, Texas, downtown. There were 3 guys that started the concept, and one lived here in Scottsdale and one in Austin. And so the second location was the Scottsdale Fashion Square store.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you see the correlation between the two markets.
Sure. And so when was it that the Scottsdale location closed?
The Scottsdale Fashion Square?
Yeah, that one did close, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I've been with the company for about 4 years, and the old ownership group, for whatever reason, just things weren't running as smoothly as they should have been, and there was a restructuring, and at that time they shut down the Tempe Mill Avenue, Scottsdale Fashion Square, and they left Paradise Valley and Chandler open.
Okay.
And then we relocated the Paradise Valley at Tatum and Shea location over here just like a year ago.
And so how many total locations are there now in Arizona and in Texas as well?
We've got 4 locations, and then we actually have 2 under construction as well.
Okay.
So there'll be a new store that's going to be built in Kyle, Texas, which is basically South Austin. For if you want to compare it to Phoenix for folks, it's like Chandler to Phoenix proper.
Sure.
And then we've got a location here that's actually going to be in Mesa, and it's a Mesa address, but it's literally on the border of Mesa and Gilbert.
Okay.
And so it's right off Baseline Road, just a block over from the I-60, I think it is right there.
Yes.
And it's about half a mile from the Gilbert border.
Okay.
So,
sure. So what is ZTejas cooking style, the food, the drink?
yeah, well, so like I mentioned, you had a gentleman who lived here in Scottsdale, one who lived in Austin, Texas, and the original executive chef spent a lot of their time on the coast of Texas and the Louisiana Delta area. So we call ourselves Southwestern Grill, and the reason is because the food is Southwestern. You've got a mix of all the different types of cooking from the 3 regions, and so you see that and it's evident in our menu even today. We have things like our catfish beignets, which are a classic that have been around forever. You have things like the Diablo Pasta, where you've got these wonderful spices, that are with peppers. One of the number one things is that a signature thing is that most of our dishes are going to be cooked at least with one type of pepper. And that's where you get a lot of the Arizona influence. Because of all the wonderful chilies and peppers and things like that brings such a wonderful flavor.
Well, and right in front of us here, and actually coming in as well, we have some items from your summer menu. This one in front of us here is a perfect example of what you were just saying as far as the pepper infusions and incorporation into the dish. If you could walk us through what we have in front of us here and some of those incorporations.
You bet, absolutely. So one of the things that ZTejas started years ago, and they lost their way a little bit, and we've brought it back, is having our chef always create a fresh seasonal menu with things that are in season right now.
Sure.
Fruits, vegetables, things like that. And so we call this our Diablo Eggs, which deviled eggs. But we couldn't just keep it a standard fare, right? We had to kick it up a notch and give it that ZTejas zing for the flavor.
Sure.
So this dish has a lot of different things going on, a lot of different elements. So instead of just your standard deviled egg mixture, we actually cook peppers and onions and mince them up, as well as jalapeno bacon into the deviled egg mix. And so we've got that all going on inside. And then on the top, we've got sriracha, a fresh sliced jalapeno. And then this is actually a custom-made ZTejas sausage that we have.
Wow.
And so what's cool about it is we partnered with a family-owned and operated sausage company there in Austin.
Okay.
They've been around for a lot of years, and me and Chef went and met with them. We gave them a recipe. They produced several samples, and we kept tweaking the recipe until we got exactly the flavor that we wanted. And so, I'm sure you've heard of like a sausage that might have some cheddar in it or cheese or
Sure.
maybe some jalapeno even. Well, this actually has pepper jack cheese built into it, and then it's got different seasoning, spices, and peppers as well.
Wow.
And so we call it our Z sausage.
And so you guys are the only people getting this recipe then, huh?
Yeah, we're the only ones that have that recipe. There's that sausage company's not going to compete and build it for anyone else. They actually aren't even going to make any other sausage with pepper jack cheese in it out of respect for our recipe.
Okay.
So,
well, and that's something that's very cool. And even though, it's not necessarily an Arizona meat shop, which is, of course, a majority of our focus with the Taste of AZ, to hear those kind of relationships popping up in other places, and now we get to try a Taste of Texas, if you will. That's a very cool thing to be able to bring onto your menu here.
Well, thank you. And we actually have, we like to partner locally if we can. We have a great partnership here in Arizona. You've heard of the Tucson Tamale Company?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So what we did was we started out making our tamales in-house, and it takes a lot of labor and time. And we started selling so many of them that we did the same thing with the Tucson Tamale Company.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so Chef and I, we worked together on a flavor profile. He worked with the Tucson Tamale Company with the recipe, and they make a custom tamale for us, and we serve it at happy hour. We serve our tamale. We have a dose fried tamale plate that you can get as well. And my favorite, of course, is at brunch. We have the green chili pork, and it's served over the fried tamale, and it's an Eggs Benedict tamale.
That sounds amazing.
So,
well, and it's not a secret that you guys are a little bit more on the corporate end of the spectrum, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason I bring that up is because I was looking at your beautiful bar over there, and I see bottles of Del Bac and Mezcal Carreño on there. And, we love those folks. And so even though you guys might be a little bit more corporate, the connection to Arizona and these small, very personal relationships, I would imagine, like the ones you were just describing, still run deep within your company. Would you say so?
Oh, absolutely. I like I said, I personally love to partner and support local. So the Mezcal Carreño, I love those guys. They have a great product.
Yeah.
We carry it in every single store in Arizona, and I'm just hoping they keep telling me they're going to get to Texas. As soon as they do, we'll carry it in Texas. But no, they do a great job. They have a really fine product. We have a tequila called Tequila Corcel.
Yes.
I don't know if you know Doc or not, but
I have not met them, but my business partner has met them before.
So he's a local anesthesiologist. His family's been making tequila for years, and he makes a great product. And so we're going to continue to buy and support local. I've actually got 2 meetings set up for 2 more local tequilas as well.
Nice.
So.
Well, Tequila Corcel and Carreño as well have actually been supporters with the magazine. So big shout out to those folks. And if you see their ad in the magazine, try and find a bottle of their stuff, because you heard it here on this podcast that their stuff is great. So while we're talking about drinks a little bit, they're off camera now, so I'm going to pop over here and grab them. But while I do, talk to me about what I am grabbing.
Okay, absolutely. So we didn't want to just create some great, fresh, seasonal menu items for food. We wanted to make sure that we also gave folks some seasonal drinks or seasonal cocktails that they could pair with their seasonal food that we're delivering. And so what we've got here, we have a mojito, which is great. It's fresh. So it's great for summertime, nice and light, and that's the drink that you've got over there next to you. And then something that's brand new that we're trying out is our margarita flight. And so we've got our jalapeno cucumber margarita, which is very popular. We have basically, the best way to describe this one is a fruit cocktail margarita. I mean, it's got cranberry, it's got lime juice, it's got mango. And so it's got a lot of fresh fruit seasonings into it. And then we have a blue curacao margarita as well. And so the thing that's cool about the flight is that we deliver it to you with the 3 flavored margaritas. Other than liqueurs, there's no alcohol in them. And then you actually can call whichever shot of tequila that you like. And they bring a 3-ounce shot of tequila out for you. And so what I've had them bring out here is Maestro Dobel.
Okay.
The reason that I had them do that is because we actually have a barrel program with Maestro Dobel.
Really?
And so you can choose out of 3 different flavor profiles. And Maestro Dobel actually was one of the first tequila brands to make a Cristalino. And that's where they charcoal filter the tequila so that you don't have any of that caramelized color in it.
Really? Okay.
But you still have all of the taste.
Okay.
And so you've got something that is actually a reposado tequila or an añejo, and it's clear. And so you got that great sweet tone, but you don't have any of the coloring, and it's just really smooth. And
that's what this tequila is right here.
Absolutely. And so we choose a French oak barrel, and so you won't have any other flavor. Like, you could go and drink Maestro Dobel from another bar, but they're not going to have the ZTejas barrels.
Sure.
So it's going to taste slightly different on their flavor profile.
So is this technically a reposado or an añejo that you guys have here?
So it's actually a blend of all 3, and then they charcoal filter it.
Okay. And so are you a tequila guy yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm in the business, right?
Sure.
Whether or not I'm taking time at home to have a cocktail, I'm definitely sampling lots of tequilas.
Sure. Well, and the reason I ask is because I am just kind of more so lately getting into tequila and reposado and mezcal and things like that. And so when you taste that, you expect the taste of like a Blanco tequila because, as you were explaining, it doesn't have any of the color. But you can definitely taste the barrel character in that.
Oh, for sure.
Is that something that you personally like? Do you tend to go more towards an aged tequila or something a little more fresh?
Definitely an aged tequila. So, every person that drinks tequila or mezcal is going to be different. And, one of the things that I love about the Mezcal Carreño is the flavor profiles. Just not to go back to talking about Mezcal Carreño, but, people that have tried mezcal and they're like, oh, I hate it. They probably just had a lower-end mezcal that was so smoky that it just turned them off to the product altogether. And so they just weren't drinking the right mezcal. And tequila can be very much the same way. So if you're looking for a tequila that's just great to sip on, you don't need it chilled. Room temperature is just fine. You don't need to mix it in with a bunch of anything different. Then I'm definitely going to go with an aged tequila.
How many different tequilas do you guys have?
Oh, my goodness. I can't even count them all.
So you have like an actual program built around keeping this diverse list of bottles so people can come in and try them like that then, huh?
Absolutely. And then one of the things is just product knowledge training from our vendors, bringing them in to teach our team, and oftentimes even our guests, As far as Tequila Corcel, we've done a lot of different tequila tastings where they showed up themselves and they were pouring samples for folks and educating them and kind of walking them through the product. Because if it's busy in here, even with 4 bartenders, they're not going to be able to sit there and explain every little detail to every guest. And, really, I say it's about educating the guests, but it's really just about creating that experience. Like someone like yourself, you said you're just kind of getting into the tequila tasting and getting into it. So, if you came and we were having an event like that, you'd learn so much and you'd really have a great memory from that time frame.
Well, and that's how, so beer is my background as far as beverages related, and spirits was like the next evolution of that. And I started on the whiskey side of things, but I feel like tequila is maybe the most versatile spirit, because I've tasted ones that taste so different. It's a lot more mellow than drinking, like a nice heavy scotch. Well, I enjoy drinking a scotch or, Del Bock or something, but especially when it's hot like this outside, we're lucky that we got a break and it's like less than 100 degrees this week. But like this tequila poolside, to me, that's like, I don't know if there's a better drink, something that I would prefer over that right now.
Yeah, it's something you got to be careful of because it is smooth and goes down, and before you know it, you might have had too much.
Well, and I got to say as well, shout out to my mom, because that's why when I saw the mojito, that's her drink of choice. So I'm like, all right, I got to try that and at least give a little mention of it. So circling back to the food side of things, what are some more of the menu items on your new summer menu?
Oh, so we have a lot of different things. So we've got the Diablo Eggs as one of the appetizers. And then, like I said, seasonally, Chef is creating a fresh menu. And when items are very popular, we'll bring them back again and again so people can know that that's coming back at this time of the year. So the Diablo Eggs have actually been a hit so much before that we knew we had to bring them back at summertime. One of the great things is our berry steak salad. It's hot right now, and you want something light and fresh and healthy to eat. And so we have arugula, and then we have our house-made cilantro, lime, mango dressing. I think the berries that we're using are strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries. And then we have a cilantro pesto marinated steak that we slice up and put on top of the salad. Of course, if that's too heavy for you, we could do chicken or fish. And then one of the things that's really cool is we have a habanero pepper goat cheese fritter that tops the salad. Wow. And last year we had those as an appetizer with the raspberry mole sauce. And they were so popular that Chef said, hey, I got to work it back in somehow this year.
Sure.
And so now it's like a little accoutrement on top of the salad. So
very nice.
Instead of just, garnishing the salad with some feta or goat cheese or something,
sure,
we put one of those cheese fritters on the top.
Do you see that people gravitate a lot to the seasonal menus that you guys are doing?
So we have a lot of diehard fans that I think come for their go-to item.
Sure.
But if they're willing to try, our team will definitely let them know, hey, you should check out the new summer menu. We like to do a lot of different things to try to spread the word like we're doing here just to educate people that we have this summer menu. One of the things is the tastes are different between the two markets, Texas and Arizona. So finding something that will fit both markets is always a little bit of a challenge. But, summertime we have a mahi-mahi, which is just slightly seasoned, and then it's garnished with like a fennel mint salad, and then it's served over a bed of risotto, which is phenomenal, by the way. And then it's got sautéed spinach and mushrooms in the risotto, and that's a great dish. And then we also have it's almost a full pound. It's a 14-ounce double bone-in pork chop.
Whoa.
And it is great. I don't know about you, but I love steaks. I love chops, especially when they're cooked just right, like medium, so it's nice and juicy, not all dried out. And then, of course, keeping with our theme for summertime, we've got, lots of fruits on the menu. We have, instead of just putting like a regular pico de gallo topping on it, it's a peach mango pico de gallo that goes on top of the pork chop. And that's served over our roasted poblano and cheese mashed potatoes, which that's not seasonal. That's always here. But we switched to our seasonal vegetables, which is going to be like red peppers, green peppers, mushrooms, and they're cooked al dente. So it's got a nice fresh crunch to it, but they're all, I think they marinate for like 2 days straight. And then that gets that seasoning in there really good. And then they're just, steamed up so that they're al dente.
It's interesting. I leave the chefing to the real chefs for the most part, but probably the best thing I ever made, or at least the most technical thing I ever made, was like a blackberry cream sauce chicken pasta. And the reason I bring that up is because I think the combination of fruit and meat, like your berry steak salad, I think that makes a cut of meat refreshing in a way that you don't typically get when it's slathered up with butter and rosemary and those types of things. So obviously, naturally, if you're incorporating summery ingredients into your menu, that you're going to get some of those summery fresh flavors. But of course, that was something you guys did deliberately as well. How often are you doing these refreshes, and what does that process look like?
So it's about 4 times a year, about every season. And so we've got our summer menu now, and it'll run probably right up until about August. So we'll get September, October, we'll have a fall menu that will come out.
Okay.
And so once summer menu gets made, chef starts working on ideas for fall menu.
Really?
Absolutely. And then, there's a lot of training involved, right? So we have to make sure that everyone in every kitchen is trained on how to properly cook and plate and prep. We're still a scratch kitchen. That's one of, I don't know if you knew that or not, but we make everything from scratch in all of our kitchens. So when you're having a salad at ZTejas, we didn't open a bottle of ranch and give you some ranch on the side. It's truly made from scratch, And so there's a lot of work that goes into creating one of the menus and then educating everybody and then educating all of our servers about every dish. So one of the things that we'll do is we'll do like pre-shift meetings, and we'll cook a dish, and then we have all the servers that are there. They taste the dish. They get to see what the plating looks like, and then they get to test drive it, and and then that way, there's no better way to talk to someone without the knowledge. But if you've had firsthand knowledge and you've tasted a dish, then you can explain it and you can speak to it, passionately about it too.
Well, in this, the Diablo Eggs is a great example of why that would be important, because I was expecting it to be significantly spicier, which I like, but by the time I finished the first egg, I'm like, wow, that wasn't actually as spicy as I expected, and now I'm about to go back in for a second one. But while I do munch on this second egg, you mentioned how the palates of Texans and Arizonans are kind of different. I'm curious if you could expand on that a little bit more.
Well, so we just find that different things sell better in different markets. So, for example, the fried snapper is a fish dish that we do, and we sell a tremendous amount of it in Texas. Not so much out here in Arizona. And I was really happy to see that we're selling pork chops here in Arizona, because traditionally in the past, we have not sold a lot of pork chops. And we haven't tried a pork chop of this style before, so perhaps that might be the difference this time. But definitely a really nice pork chop, cooked perfectly. Like I said, you're going to sell it in Texas. And it's been really great to see that we're selling a lot of it here in Arizona as well. But just for example, we have our famous chicken fried steak and chicken fried chicken. And, I alluded to earlier the different chef and the two owners when the company first started. Chicken fried steak and chicken definitely coming from Texas. Yeah. We sell a lot more of the chicken fried chicken in Arizona than the chicken fried steak. And again, that might just be, a regional thing. But then, of course, we tie it all together with a chorizo gravy instead of just a regular, white cream gravy. We've got a chorizo gravy. And I'm glad that you mentioned for everybody about the seasoning, because we do, like I said, we used to garnish. We still use whole peppers as a garnish in a lot of our dishes. We use a lot of peppers that when we cook, but chef does a great job of really putting the right flavors together and just the right combination, so it doesn't just blow you up, because we want people to come and really enjoy our food. Yeah, really absolutely. Taste all the different flavors.
Well, and the way the jalapenos on here for me, I just like take a bite of half. That way I can keep plowing through them and not have to get slowed down too much. But yeah, those are tremendous. Is the sausage used in any other of the dishes that you have? Yes.
So we have our Z sausage. Actually, I need to think about this. In Texas, it is 100%. In our brunch menu, when you pick like the Z eggs, you can choose bacon or sausage for your side dish.
And this is the sausage.
And this is the sausage. Again, we'd be boring if we went with just a regular patty sausage for breakfast sausage. So we wanted to offer a Southwestern sausage.
Absolutely.
And then we've had on seasonal menus before, which sold very well. It was an appetizer dish that had mashed potatoes with the grilled sausage and sautéed spinach served over the top of it. Ooh. And so and that was a happy hour appetizer that we did, and we sold it very well. And so, again, talking about the differences regionally, you have chili killies as a dish, and you have migas as a dish. They're virtually the same. Okay. They're basically corn tortilla strips, and then they're scrambled all together with eggs, some sort of meat, and a few seasonings, right? But if we call something chili killies in Texas, it doesn't sell as well as if we call it migas.
Really?
Really. And out here, if we don't call it chili killies and we call it migas, it does not sell as well. And we often laugh about that because it's so similar of a dish. So we went ahead, instead of calling it something different, we actually made different recipes. So in Texas, we have the ZTejas migas, which you've got chorizo and our sausage scrambled in with the eggs and the tortilla strips. And out here we have our carnitas chili killies. And so you've got the tortilla chips with eggs, and you can have your eggs prepared however you'd like. But most people get scrambled.
Sure.
And our carnitas for our meat out here.
The only thing I was going to say I might choose over the chorizo and that sausage, which you have in the migas, is carnitas. Because that's like, when I get Mexican food, that's my go-to almost every time. That's how I feel like you can kind of set the barometer for how good the Mexican food is through the carnitas, at least for me personally. What are some of the other really popular menu items that are not on the seasonal side, but something you have all the time?
So something that we have all the time, and it's a classic staple, it's been on our menu for years, is our Diablo Pasta. And so you've got, I think it's like our red pepper and spinach linguine, so it's a two-tone linguine. And then you've got our Diablo Pasta sauce, of course. And then it's garnished with pico de gallo, cotija cheese, Tajín-dusted tortilla strips, and then fresh sliced jalapenos as well.
Wow.
And then you can pick whichever meat you want to go on it. But, traditionally, most people will get like a cilantro pesto shrimp. Or if they want a little more seasoning, they'll go with like an achiote chicken. I
might need that sausage in there. That sausage is fantastic. And you said it does have cheese in it, right?
Absolutely.
The pepper jack cheese, that's right. It has like a little creaminess. Texture-wise, it's creamy, but then you also get the kind of nice snap from it as well. I might need you to send me home with like a case of that sausage.
No, you bet. That's something we pondered, actually, because we do get a lot of folks that inquire about it. And so we're in the business of running a restaurant, not trying to sell retail products, but we have, played around with potentially selling, because the links come in a 5-to-1 size, so 5 links to 1 pound.
Okay.
And so we have played around some with, getting packages that if a guest said, hey, I'd like to buy the sausage, that we could sell.
Well, if you need a quality tester, I'm your guy. Let me know.
Yes, sir.
I'll make sure it's just as delicious as this. So is there anything new that you guys have in the works right now? I know you just released this summer menu, but do you have new locations in the mix? Anything else you want to talk about?
We always have something new and exciting on the horizons at ZTejas. So we do have 2 new locations that we're working on. One thing, too, our Chandler location, it was completed construction-wise in 2000, so it's 22 years old now.
Wow.
And I don't think that it received a lot of love. And for those of you folks listening that have visited the store, you can see that the building has aged a little bit, but it is about to get a complete overhaul.
Really?
Yeah, and so that actually starts next month, July 6th or 7th, and you won't recognize it when we're done with it. It's going to be beautiful, and that's the thing. We've got beautiful food. I know that's a weird word, but
no, I think it's a. I
mean,
you see
the food comes out of the
here.
kitchen, and you see everyone pulling their phones out to take a picture. The only way to describe it is beautiful food.
Absolutely.
And then you taste it, and it's like in your mouth.
Most of the time, you see the food before you're going to taste it, so it's got to look good, right?
Absolutely. And so we've done so much work to really make sure that we're putting out a quality product, and. You were coming into this store. You obviously see it's, very modern and really beautiful. And so we want to make sure that all of our facilities are very beautiful for our guests. We want them to have a great experience. And so, we want to really put them on sensory overload. We want to serve them a great food in a great environment. We always say in a fun, energetic setting.
Sure. Well, and it's going to be hard to beat this location because you've got this nice lake out here. You've got the greenery and all that. Describe a little bit what your kind of the setting and the appearance of your Texas locations? Because I feel like most of the people listening probably haven't seen them before.
So our Avery Ranch location is very similar to Scottsdale, the store we're in here.
Okay.
I mean, almost carbon copy.
Really?
Yeah. Now, you don't have the beautiful lake, but what you've got there is a beautiful patio. The patio there it's a huge, almost like an amphitheater. It's got 165 seats.
Wow.
Beautiful wooden structure, all brand new. Awesome mister system. It was 106 the other day. The misters were going, and I took a conference call. I think it was from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and I didn't even sweat one drop.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the guys that do our mister systems, again, local company here. The owner lives right over here in McCormick Ranch.
Really?
And they do business all over the world, and it's called Mist America.
Oh, I've heard of them, yeah.
They top notch.
Okay.
John is the owner. He does a fantastic job, man. And, even our patio here at Scottsdale, you sit out there with the misters on when it's 110. The misters, they don't get you wet. The water is just the right amount to where it evaporates, and it drops that ambient temperature about 20 degrees right in the immediate area.
Wow.
So it makes it nice to be able to sit out there even when
Sure.
you're in the middle of summertime.
Sure.
And so you've got the beautiful patio. I don't know if you noticed when you walked in the two beautiful murals that are painted here.
Yes, on the bar side.
Yep. So we've got one for Arizona, one for Texas, and that was a local artist, Isaac Caruso, who lives here.
Okay.
And we looked at about 10 different artist portfolios, and we picked the one that we like. And he does all of that by hand with spray paint.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist, and we flew him out to Arizona, and he did the mural there for us.
That's like a 30-foot ceiling, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's 35 foot tall from floor
Wow.
to ceiling. And yeah, it took him a week to do each side.
Really?
Yeah, but he just does beautiful work.
Sure.
So,
well, and that's just like a lot of the little components that, being a larger restaurant group and having multiple locations, those are the kind of things that I feel like sometimes can fall through the cracks. But you guys obviously have a love and a passion for taking the local flavor, so to speak, and infusing that not only into your food, but into your restaurants as well.
Absolutely. Like I said before, we always try to support locally. Even these tables, all these tables in the chef room, I don't know if you saw the two up there in the bar area.
Yes.
They're custom-built tables. There was a local artisan that lived here that helped build these 3 tables. He did our bar top as well. And then he said, hey, if you ever need anything else, let me know. I'm moving to Austin. So I said,
no
perfect.
way.
Yeah. I said, perfect. I said, we're building this store in Avery Ranch, and we want to do the same exact 3 tables and a bar top. And so we used him out there as well. And I think he does beautiful work.
That's awesome. Well, before we let you go, I got to ask you, as a Texas man, once we make it out to Texas next time, where are some of your favorite spots to eat out there besides, of course, ZTejas?
Yeah, of course. Well, if you come to Texas, you got to try some barbecue. There's a little place called Valentina's in South Austin, and they're actually – so one of our new stores I mentioned is being built in Kyle, Texas. They're going to build a location there as well.
Really?
Yeah, they do a great job. I don't know if you can watch Netflix Chef's Table or whatever and all this stuff and hear about all these other barbecue restaurants and wait in lines hours and hours, but – Valentina's does a great job if you want some good barbecue.
I think I've heard of them before, but I don't remember what the context was.
They definitely have a lot of notoriety, but you don't have to wait around forever.
Sure.
If you'd like to try some good tacos with some really good flavors, you've got Taco Deli.
Taco Deli?
Mm-hmm.
Like just deli, like a
it's called
delicatessen.
that, but it does not look like a deli whatsoever.
I didn't know if it was like that or Taco Deli, like an Indian type taco place.
No,
I'm like, okay, I'm interested.
They're definitely Southwest Texas tacos.
Sure.
They do a good job, and they have really good tacos, really good flavor. If you're looking for some good steaks or some good, pork chops, they have a place called Perry's. They do a great pork chop at Perry's. But I could go on and on,
Sure. Well, with that said, I guess, thank you so much for sitting down with us. I mean, I've only tried these today, but if the summer menu is anything like these with the other items, I'm sure it's fantastic. And the drinks were terrific as well. It's so cool to see you guys taking the spirit of Arizona and Texas and fusing them together in your guys' own unique, spicy little way, if you will, and bringing it to us. So thank you so much for having us in today. It was a real pleasure.
No, you bet. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Well, everyone, go ahead and visit ZTejas here in Scottsdale or in Chandler. And then also, if you're in Texas, swing by, give them a visit. And without anything else to say, thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks for having
Cheers.
us on, Luke. Bye.
So we have to jump back in real quick because I stopped recording and didn't realize that you guys have launched an awesome program called the Jug Club, I believe it's called.
Yeah, absolutely. It actually is about to launch. It's going to be starting July 1st or thereabouts. I think Monday's a July 4th or something. But one of the great things that came out of COVID was to-go cocktails or to-go alcohol from restaurants, not a liquor store.
Which normally, for people who didn't know that, before COVID, you weren't allowed to purchase alcohol from a restaurant and leave with it. But as a way to kind of try and boost business, they kind of changed that ruling around.
Absolutely. And there's still a lot of red tape and things of that nature. But, ZTejas, we're known for our margaritas. Especially in Arizona, people love the Chambord margarita. It's the raspberry liqueur, so you see the margarita and it's swirled. But we're launching our ZTejas Jug Club. And, just some cool things that we always kick around the office are, hey, what's the best way to beat the Texas or the Arizona heat? With a ZTejas margarita.
Sure.
And, we're saying like, hey, it's the easy button. You're going to a potluck or you're going to a summer barbecue or something. Well, what can you pick up fairly easily? And that's a gallon jug of margaritas from ZTejas.
Absolutely.
By the time you went to the store and bought all of the ingredients you would need to make our margarita, it would just be way expensive. And then on top of that, it still wouldn't taste as great as one made by our bartenders.
I can definitely attest to that because every time I make a cocktail at home, I'm like, this tastes nothing like when you get a cocktail at a restaurant.
No, you bet. And so we sell our gallon jugs for $80. And when I mentioned the red tape, here in the state of Arizona, it's 4 32-ounce containers because I don't know why, but I can sell you like 1,000 32-ounce containers. But I can't sell anything over a 32-ounce container. Yeah. So it's not a real gallon jug. It's 4 32-ounce containers. But we sell it for $80, and so our summer sale is going to be $60. And so, you get about 10 to 12 margaritas out of there. And we're actually launching the Z Jug Club. And so we're going to sell weekly memberships and monthly memberships. And so you prepay. And if you get a weekly membership, that's going to be 52 weeks where you can get a gallon jug of margaritas. Wow. And if you get a monthly membership, then you're going to get 12 gallons, one for every month. And it's super simple. You get a card, a membership card. It's got a QR code on it. We can scan it, and it automatically sends you an email, tells you how many jugs you have left remaining.
Okay.
And that way, if you lost your information for some reason, we could have it all right there ready to go for you. And if you do the membership, we're actually selling the jugs for $40 a jug.
Wow.
So half price margaritas. That's less than a tank of gas right now. I got some
Seriously.
gas on the way over here. It was almost $6 a gallon.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, what's better than, filling up your own personal tank
Absolutely.
with some margaritas. So, yeah, the Jug Club, that's something that's brand new that we're doing.
Well, and then if you would prefer to just enjoy your margaritas here, you guys are doing live music as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've got currently is every brunch, Saturday and Sunday, we do live music. And, again, it's all local talent. And we're not trying to fly in some big popular band. We just want to support the local talent that's out there trying to make a living, spread their music. And so on Saturdays, it's from 11 to 2. And Sundays, we're about to bump 12 to 3 because we find that folks that go to church and things like that come in just a bit later. And so we want to be able to cater to where they can still catch that live music. It's been really popular. It's been really cool to see the families come out and the kids are really into the music. Or just the people that are out brunching and having a great time,
Sure.
And we're about to start Wednesday nights, DJ nights. And so we're going to have a DJ from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. That way you can get here. We want you to be able to enjoy happy hour, of course, great drink prices, great food prices. That's from 3 to 6 every day of the week. And then the DJ will get here at 5 p.m. and then get everything going. And the reason we're doing that is because we had a DJ on Cinco de Mayo at our stores. And I was at 2 of the stores in Texas, and I was watching the people, and they were just really enjoying themselves, having a great time, and the DJs were excellent. They read the crowd. They were getting them, into into the groove and getting people up and dancing and having a good time. And really, that's we just, like I said earlier, we want to create a wonderful experience for our guests. And so we've got live music Saturdays and Sundays, and then we're bringing DJs in on Wednesday nights.
Is that at all of your locations?
It's at all locations.
Okay.
At the Scottsdale location here, we do have a small issue with a live music permit that we've filed for that we're working through. So we won't have a DJ here, but we do have live music. They just can't have any kind of electrical amplification. So it's all acoustic. They're inside. They're just acoustic. And that's just because we got a complaint from somebody.
Really?
Yep. And code enforcement came by and told us, hey, guys, if you apply for that permit and you got another warning, it's not going to go well for you. So we're doing what we need to do to follow all the rules for them. But it's still they're still really great musicians, and you can still have a good time. It just doesn't kind of echo around the whole building, because you saw the ceilings are really tall.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't have the same acoustics.
Well, it's unfortunate that you weren't able to do the electric amplification, but at the same time, live music with an acoustic setting is fantastic as well, because it's a little more intimate. And I don't know exactly who you're getting, but if you guys get like a Spanish guitarist or something like that, I mean, that's going to put you right in the mood to eat some delicious Mexican food.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, and thank you for giving us those few extra tidbits about the Jug Club and the live music. Stop by for an evening, enjoy some food, some live music, and go home with a jug of margaritas, or 4 individual jugs of margaritas.
You got
for
it.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you again.
You bet. Thanks.
Cheers.